I'm going to do this training today. So when we talk about the holiday season, what you need to do largely depends on what type of business you are. And what I'm going to do is break this training into two sections. So e-commerce and then service-based, which includes like courses or anything like that. So let's get started. So straight away with e-commerce, so I put my book there and my face is lit up from the sunshine. Okay, so with e-commerce, this is in fact your time to shine. So obviously it's Christmas time and everyone's shopping for presents. Everyone wants to buy stuff. People are buying things they wouldn't normally buy. So it's a really great time to be out there and advertising. Now, obviously there's a catch. So everyone else is also doing this, which means there's a lot of competition. So one thing that I highly recommend making sure you've done it, is to have set up your store, your Facebook, Instagram store. So they're linked. So as long as you've linked your Facebook and your Instagram accounts, then it will work on both. But you just need to go into your business manager and basically set up your store. As long as you've got physical products, you'll be able to show them in there. And then from within your store, once you've got it set up, what you can actually do is create collections. So you could create a special like Christmas collection basically of the products which are recommended for Christmas, for gifts or for pampering yourselves. It might be maybe you've got things for the actual person, for like Christmas, treat yourself for Christmas, New Year, or whatever it is, whatever your angle is. Just make sure you've got your store set up. So another thing you need to be doing is carry on collecting emails. So even if say you've got like a really competitive niche and you don't really have the ads budget or something to go in on there, what you just still need to be doing is just collecting leads. Because that way, when the new year comes, you can basically retarget them and you can just always reach back out to people once you've got their email address. So if you've not got the budget to go for sales, just collect leads because it's cheaper to get leads. And obviously if whatever it is you're providing isn't like right for the holiday season, then just get the details and save it for when it is right for them, and then you can reach out to them via email, which is basically for free. Right, so the next thing is during the holiday seasons, if you're selling products, what you need to remember is the majority of people are going to be shopping on Amazon, because everyone knows Amazon's cheap. They know they get guaranteed delivery, guarantee returns and refunds, everything like this. Everything's very, everyone, they know what to expect basically. And you may have a number of selling points which make you a lot better, because you're like a private company. It's a more personalized experience. Maybe you reach out to a specific type of person who, you're going to attract more. But these people, especially if you're reaching out to a cold audience, are always going to have the, that kind of doubt in their mind, yeah, but what if I do order with this person? What if something goes wrong? What if I don't get my delivery on time? Or what if it's clothing and it doesn't fit? Like, am I going to be able to return it? So especially during the season where you've got such high competition with people like Amazon, you need to just be like really, really clear on what your policies are. You need to reassure people basically that you're not just going to take their money and run, or that you're not going to mess up their delivery, and what's going to happen if something does go wrong basically. So just constantly you've got to be nurturing your audience to make them feel safe and make them feel like buying this from you is a better option than buying from Amazon. So another thing you can be doing during this time is giveaways. So giveaways are always fun, to get loads of people engaging on your page, to get loads of people to know about you. Giveaway think about a friend who would like this, like tag 5 friends or something. Okay, so on Facebook you cannot actually ask them to tag their friends. You can't make that a part of the competition, but just read the rules and just do what you can that's going to make it work basically. But giveaways around this time of year are really, really great time, because people want stuff and people want free stuff. People are already spending a lot of money. So what you can do is create a giveaway where you collect their email address, and then you've got that lead as well. And also it just helps with your audience building, it helps with your engagement, helps with lots of things like that. So another one is, and this one goes back to setting up the store. is when you're creating posts, once you've got your store set up, you can then actually tag your products in your posts. So you would like, I don't know, do a photo like I'm selling a necklace. I'm not even wearing a necklace. But yeah, say like I'm a jewelry store or something. I would just like have a photo of me like this, like in an Instagram post or whatever, and then I could literally like tag the necklace that I'm wearing. So things like that go really far, and you can actually do that in ads now, which is a fairly new feature. I announced it in the news, I think maybe about 4 weeks ago. They started to give you that one, so that's really nice new fun thing you can do. And this next one also stays with Instagram, but in my last news, not the one that went wrong a week ago, Instagram have rolled out guides to everyone. So guides, if you missed it, guides are basically something you can create in Instagram, and they're made out of curated content that's either your own or things that you've saved. So you can go and create a guide on Instagram that is like your Christmas guide to such and such, and this will tie in with your collections. So it doesn't have to be totally biased and just have your stuff on it. Maybe you have someone who's not your competition, whose products complement yours and they go really well together. If you've saved any of their content, you can then add that to your guide, so they'll get tagged, you'll reach their audience as well, and it'll be a nice little collaboration. And at the same time, you've got your products on there, which people are then seeing in this guide, which is like this year's must-have, Christmas 2020. This is what your must-have are. So Instagram guides, definitely check it out if you're on Instagram, because that would be like a really nice touch, and it's a really good way because you're bringing your old content back to life again. So it means you're creating brand new content without having to actually make a lot of new content. And then once you've created your guide, you can share it to your story, which you can then add to your featured collections. Highlights. There we go. Okay, so after Instagram guides, you've got gift cards. So that's a nice thing you can do if you've got an e-commerce store, is create and promote gift cards. If you buy one of these gift cards, you get X% off. Share it with a friend, or give it to your friend, however you want to do it. But gift cards are a really nice thing to do at this time of year, because people like to give gift cards. It's hard to go out shopping for some people. So if you've got a shop where people might want to buy for their loved ones to you can just think about doing gift cards and things like that, basically. And then the last thing, the next one, sorry, I've got two more. Right, so my notes today, just to tell you, is that I literally just drew diagrams. Normally I have like a bulleted ordered list, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna stick to my diagram. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But okay, so the next thing you need to be doing is you can create now custom audiences out of people who have engaged with your store on Facebook. So the store I told you to create in one of the first points, basically. Whereas before you could only create audiences out of people who have been on your website, people who have liked your page, people who have clicked engaged with a post recently, anyone who's watched a video. There's now a new type of audience, which is people who have engaged with your store. And that's not on your website, but the one on Facebook. So this is a really great audience for you to create. So if you've already have a store, and then you've been running it for a while, and people have been going there, then you can create an audience out of people who have been to your store but not purchased, and then you can run Christmas ads to them. You can run you can send discount codes to them. So you can do anything like that, basically. It's a really really new great way of targeting that wasn't available before. So the next one we've got is a Wheel of Fortune. Now you may have seen this, you may not have. I've seen it and it's been effective. I've enjoyed playing with it, and it's an easy way. Someone got my email address. So if you've got a website, an e-commerce website, we're still on e-commerce, then people who go on your website, when they first land there, they'll be like, hey, welcome today, here's your lucky spin, and you spin it, and then they'll get have another spin, or here's a 5% off voucher, or here's a free shipping voucher, or one of them will be a prize, so it'll be here's an iPhone. Not obviously if you don't sell iPhones, it's not going to be an iPhone, it's going to be one of your products. apologies as my video just froze then. I feel like I'm having the worst luck ever with technology recently. Right, okay, so with the Wheel of Fortune, what you do is you can set it up on your website or your Shopify store or whatever it is you've got, and then you can just choose how many segments it's got, and you can choose how frequently you want certain options to show up. So someone will eventually win the high value one, but it might just be like 1 in 1,000 or something. But by that point, you've got 1,000 email addresses. So they get the first spin for free, but then normally if they want another free spin and they didn't land on the free spin option, then they can get another one if they give their email address. So this goes back to my lead collections suggestion. If you put one of these on your website, then it's a really great way to get leads. It's a good way for people to have fun on your website and also make them aware of certain products or offers you've got, because they're seeing it on the wheel as well. So that was like my sort of like last idea about e-commerce. So now moving on to service-based businesses, it's very, very different from e-commerce. So for service-based businesses, so that's like, you know, coaches, anyone who's got like online courses, anything in the education world, anything like that, it's not so good, because while people are there, they're online shopping, they're shopping for Christmas presents, they're not shopping for your services. People are still looking, which is great, they just don't buy. So this is where we sort of might need to change the strategy a little bit. So what you might need to be doing is actually don't stop running ads, because it's really competitive and everyone's out there. And yes, it's going to be higher to reach your target audience because there's so many e-commerce stores out there you're going to be competing with, and also everyone else. So what you can just do is kind of take a step back, but carry on being present in the industry, in your niche. So for example, rather than going in for conversions or even leads, if it's depending on what it is, you could literally just like take a step back and just keep running the traffic. So people are still looking, people are still investigating things, people are still planning what they're going to do next year, you know, new year, new start, this is new start, new year, new you, this is what everyone does, right? So not to say you should copy that, because obviously you need to be doing something that's original and unique, something that stands out, or else you're just going to blend into everyone else. But these people are, the people who are still online now, they're still looking, they're looking, but they're just thinking, I'm not going to invest in it now because that, you know, because I'm spending 500 quid on Christmas presents that I wouldn't normally have spent. So I'm not going to spend anything on myself, my own personal stuff. So what you need to just be doing is basically give value, build rapport, build trust as much as possible. So run high funnel ads campaigns. So when I talk about high funnel, if you don't know from one of my previous trainings, it just means like people who aren't ready to take an action yet. So the top of the funnel would be things like awareness, reach, so brand awareness, reach, video views I like to use. That's like probably my favorite one, in fact, because what you could do is you could make a really, really basic video ad, try to keep it short and to the point, and then just run it to your target audience. It's super, super cheap. Run it on the optimized for through plays. A through play just means a 15-second view, and then choose the option where you only have to pay when they watch a through play. So you only pay when someone watches 15 seconds, which is great, because normally in Facebook ads you have to pay per impression, which means pay every time it goes on the screen, on someone's screen, no matter who it is, where they are, how many times they've seen it. So you do cost per through play, and then you just send a short message, give a little bit of value, whether you're gonna entertain them or give them information or inspire them, whatever it is, and just make them remember you. And then what you'll then have is a new audience of people who have watched this video, and then in the new year you can then reach out to them with whatever it was you wanted to sell them in December, but they weren't interested because it's December, because people are Christmas shopping. They're not buying your coaching program, they're not buying your course. So that is basically the number one strategy I would do. And then in January, then you go into this whole, like, you know, new year, new start, let's carry on with what you're planning to do last year, and you're going for the kill. So one of my clients last year, we did this. It was like, December was painful, okay? So on, I think, Facebook ads and Google ads, we got like hardly any conversions whatsoever, and I was just like, oh my god, she's gonna fire me, like, oh my god, it's so bad. And then I was like, okay, so, and we need to like sort of slow down a bit, so I cut the budget back, but I carried on just going in for cheap traffic on both Facebook ads and Google ads. And I just kind of, just kept it slowly, just getting like cheap results, just getting traffic, because that's all I wanted. I just wanted people who were the right people to come on our website so that we've got them, and that's exactly what happened. And then in January we hit them with this like amazing retargeting campaign, like, new year, new you, like I said, and we got something like 150 return on ad spend. It was ridiculous. We had a tiny budget on retargeting in January, and literally everyone who'd been holding back in December went and bought, and it was bloody amazing. So this is what you need to be doing: audience building for cheap, and then going for the kill in January. So let me know if you've got any questions about that. Obviously things that worked for like me and other clients might necessarily work for you. You need to just be aware of your industry. Have a look at what the benchmarks are, have a look at trends. And I'm going to go over a few other tips which sort of go into that a bit more in a minute. So so communications, targeting the new year. And the other thing you can do if you're a service-based business is offer incentives. So again, coupons, gift cards, refer a friend incentives, all of that kind of stuff. If you just throw that into the mix with what you're doing, it's just going to really help you sort of get get the upper hand basically, or just just to get noticed, get people to take some form of action. So anything you can give, basically. It's the season to be giving, right? So you need to be giving too. If you're just trying to sell to people, they're just not going to be interested. So that basically sums up the service-based. And then I've just got a few tips which actually apply to both e-commerce and service-based businesses. So no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're doing in your business, you should start by targeting your warm audience, because it's low-hanging fruit. They already know you, and the chances are they're a lot more likely to buy than going to a cold audience. So always start with your warm audience, and it will just help you to get some, it'll help your pixel, it'll help lots of things, and it helps you to get a few just like cheaper conversions. The next one is if you're running a new campaign. So if you've got like a brand new offer that was especially made for Christmas, then you just need to make sure that the landing page itself that you're using is high enough quality and that people are converting on there. So if you haven't been running it organically, and if you haven't already been getting some organic conversions, then don't go and throw a load of money on there, because you don't know if it's going to work, and it could be a total waste of money. With Christmas, the competition is high and there's a lot of high quality stuff out there. So if it's like you versus someone else, they saw your landing page, they saw someone else's, and you hadn't tested yours, you hadn't optimized it, then they're going to go with someone else and you're going to have wasted all that money on ad spend. So always start with organic where you can. I've said this a million times and I'll say it again, always start with organic. Always. Don't waste your money on ads until you know it's already working, you're already getting your results, you already know who your audience are, you already know that your assets work, you already know what language, the landing page, so just make sure you've got that like nailed down before you try getting any ads. Next one is if you've been running for more than a year, have a look at your previous year. So let's really hope that whoever set up your website or whoever does your digital marketing set up Google Analytics for you correctly, or even if you've been running ads for a year or something, have a look at a year ago, compare a year ago to now, have a look at what people were doing, see what the buying habits were. Maybe you have great Decembers and the rest of the year's not as good, or maybe December's your worst month. Just have a look, see what's normal, so you know what to expect. Obviously every year is different, especially this year being the first kind of COVID Christmas, so to speak. But yeah, just have a look and just be prepared and sort of see if you can spot any trends or get any ideas on what happened last year. And if you don't have it set up from last year, then set it up now so that next year you can go back and look on this year's. Go get that set up now. Google Analytics. On my YouTube, there's actually a free course on setting up Google Analytics, so check that out, because you don't just like install it and let it go. You have to actually configure it so that you're collecting the right data. You need to do a lot of things. So yeah, have a look at that. The thing is though, Google Analytics have recently released GA4, which is the brand new Google Analytics, and there's a whole new level of confusion, but you can still use the universal one, which I do in my other video as well. That's not going to be going for a few years, but you should also set up GA4. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that because it gets confusing. So the next one on my list is, offer value first. So I mentioned this before, but no matter what you're doing, always just offer value first. People aren't going to buy from you because of the ad you're running. People are going to buy from you because they know, like, and trust you, because you stand out to them, because they like something about you that they don't like about Amazon, or they like something about you that they don't like about the other guy who you're competing with. Do you know what I mean? So just like give value, make them laugh, give them some tips, give them some hope, make them feel inspired about, what can happen once they buy from you or work with you, and so on. And my final tip there is just to keep testing everything. So be testing different images, headlines, copy, because what you need to do is make them stop scrolling the first time, because you're paying every time someone sees the ad, not when they click on it. So during this time, there's some really great ads out there, like really nice festive stuff. Look at what everyone else is doing, and then go and do the exact opposite. If you're seeing loads of red and white Christmassy ads everywhere, do yellow and pink, because it will stand out, literally. So don't just get a stock image and throw it on there. It's not going to work. You need to use Canva and get some templates on there, or just go on Fiverr and get yourself a graphic designer for 20 quid or whatever to whip you up some designs, and just make it look good. Test different things. Test, if you've got a product, test a photo of the product versus a photo of someone holding the product. Normally someone using the product is normally what's going to win. Test photos versus stock images, and so on. So just keep testing, test different headlines, what's going to make them stop scrolling, different copies, and so on. Remember, only ever test one thing at a time, otherwise you're not going to know, you're not going to know what truly worked. So that is basically that. And then I've just got my final few words on this is, yes, it's a very more competitive time of year, but it doesn't mean stop running ads. It doesn't mean stop showing up. It means you have to show up more than ever, because there are so many people showing up now that you're going to get forgotten, basically. So you need to show up, and you can just do it on a really low budget, like I said, just go to the top of the funnel stuff, so that you're, so that you're not competing and bidding really highly to get in front of these people. But if you just run a slow campaign when you're getting in front of the right people, but no rush and no pressure that they've got to be people ready to buy your products, then you can just build your audience and then wait until January, and then you can attack, basically. That is definitely a good way to do it, especially if you have a low budget. So yeah, just stay at the front of their minds for when they are ready to convert. So in the new year, when they're going to be actually looking to take an action, then you're going to be there, showing up like a fairy godmother, the one who they're oh yeah, I remember them in December. I didn't have any money because I was Christmas shopping, but now I'm ready. So that is basically, this is how I would say you should navigate your nativity season. I hope you find this helpful. Please do let me know if you have any questions at all. You may see my Christmas tree actually arrived today. So I was hoping, when it's a little bit darker later, I'll take a photo of it, and then later on in the group I will take a photo when it's looking pretty. So send me pictures of your Christmas trees. Tell me how you service or e-commerce. Tell me what you plan to do, if anything. I really hope this training helps, and otherwise have a lovely weekend.